All right, so Stone Table. Let's talk about improving the Stone Table and how that's one of our big goals for the year.
Well, the Stone Table is one of my favorite things in the world because, I've been
more than the Blondie pie.
No, I love the Blondie pie. We should bring Blondie pies to the next Stone Table.
There you go.
I think Cindy would. Maybe she wouldn't like that actually. Honey, how many Blondie pies can you make? So, I've been going to Masterminds for years now, and ours happened kind of suddenly. Like it was
when we did the summit. We said we had an event that was neither nor. It wasn't quite a mastermind, and it wasn't quite an event. And so we said, let's do both.
Yeah.
Well, you said, let's do both, and I said, okay.
Well, because masterminding was something that I always thought, okay, well, we'll start one of those someday. Like I've thought for a long time I would like to do something like that. But it always seemed like far away, far away, far away. And then I started getting, from other people that I'm in rooms with, and they see me problem solving. They know that is a skill to any room like that. So they're encouraging. What are you waiting for? Like that was the basic question. What are you waiting for? And I tend to make excuses about stuff like that. Well, it's not the right time or whatever. But you're right. When we had that columnist session, it's time. Like this feels right. Let's do this. And year one was fantastic. Year two is half over. We still have another event for year two, but we have a lot of ideas on how to really make it better for year three.
And I think it's already better. Like I think it's just generally more focused, more structured.
Oh,
I
for
like
sure.
the changes we've made.
Yeah, for sure. I love the changes we made, and it's a really good group of people, and I think that's only going to continue to improve. And that's the case with like every room I've ever seen. The longer the core group stays together, the stronger it gets, and then you bring more people in, and they bond and gel. And I think that as we go forward, we're going to. This is a kind of a hard episode, I guess, because there's not a lot of details that we can talk about because
it's a little bit of Fight Club.
Yeah, there's stuff that we do behind closed doors, but I think that as we get, there's a lot of really successful authors in there now, but I think as time goes forward, we're going to see less of that. We're going to see more,
smarter artists,
right? Like, who do you want to see in there? I want to see directors. I want to see script writers. I want to see video game makers.
Right.
I want to see graphic novel artists. I want to see people with big audiences.
And
right?
Big ideas. People who understand the intersection between art and business and also the lack of it, like the lack of lines between those two sometimes.
Yeah, agreed. It's anyone who thinks business is art, right? Who sees those intersections, because that's beautiful. And we see that. Like there's people in there who are not authors, who are doing very different things. And it's always interesting to pull their experience and, see how does what they're doing that's very different relative to what we're doing over here. And I think that, the bigger you get and the better you are at your job and the more catalog you have, the more of those opportunities you're able to find.
Yeah, and without seeming, conceited about it or anything, but the more we do and the more success we have in varied areas, I think we have more to give.
Oh, for sure.
Think about that. When Story Shop becomes, it's the thing it's going to be, and it's like, well, you built and marketed Story Shop. When we are doing speaking and consulting, and well, now you're speakers and consultants, what can you help me with? There's a lot of that.
Well, it's almost like the idea, and again, sorry, but the idea that we were talking about on the way in here, right? And the phase two of that, and I was giving some examples of how we could directly help some of the authors in the Stone Table with that offering. It's very specific, and there would only be a few opportunities, and that's naturally the first place that we would be able to pull those from. So the fascinating thing about a mastermind isn't just the difference in skill level and background, but it's everybody is working really hard and trying to scale. Nobody's going to pay that kind of money to be in a room where they're not expecting to ROI. So they're all thinking faster, they're thinking harder, they're collaborating, they're trying to get their answers, and that's really exciting energy to be around.
Well, and one of the things that happens in a room like that is you'll see an idea come up, and then the next time you see those people, they will have done it.
Right. Because you're also, a room like that is filled with implementers and doers and people, even if they're a sometimes implementer, being around people who get shit done, it just drives you to do the same. And so I think that's very true, because what is it that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time
Right.
with, right? You want to be around successful people, you're around successful people. So we make sure that we take the time to attend other masterminds and get smarter ourselves, but having our own community is that we can kind of shepherd.
Yeah, we were talking about 2 masterminds on the way in. I mean,
Yeah.
that's actually a really good point. Is it's not we're just hosting a mastermind, like we're attending other masterminds and looking for more. Kind of
looking for more and then sharing what we learn, like
Right.
taking that home. So I mean, again, this isn't a topic we can get too detailed about, but one of the things that I think we're both really interested in doing is bringing the experiential education stuff that we're talking about
Right.
into the table. Like what can we do to make it more tangible? And we, like to our credit, we actually started on year 1 with that, with those dinners, and we like make sure that there's a
those
lot
are
of
the best parts.
yeah, they're like, this is memory. Like you want to make sure that you remember this. This is important. So we want to be doing that with the table going forward and just finding every little way to, it's the same thing we're talking about with the course. It doesn't matter how much we charge. It's what are they getting? What is the benefit? If somebody's paying X number of dollars, are they getting X plus whatever back? And
Right.
we have to make sure that that's true. And it's exciting. It's like Tarantino one time, they were talking about how, he was saying he has the best job in the entire world because all he wants to do is direct movies, and that's his canvas, that's his art, and the more money the studio gives him, the more he gets to play, the bigger his ideas can be. And I think that the table's a little bit like that. Like we want to scale it a little more, charge a little more, so we can do a little more and,
Right.
and make it cool.
All right, well, so let's leave Fight Club behind because there's only a few people who would really understand that, and move on to the biggest and also smallest idea on the list.
I'll
which
let
is
you run with that one.
the mystery of building the monarch, which we'll handle next.
Yeah.